How does Dave Doeren still have a job? Next on The Voice of College Football. You've arrived at The Voice of College Football, MarkRogersTV, where we discuss, debate, and analyze the game we all love like no one else. Please like the video, even if you don't agree with what I have to say. If you support what we do, you enjoy the conversation, please like the video. That keeps us going in delivering content. You can also help support the channel by contributing at Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App. Just search Mark Rogers TV. Of course, you got to subscribe. You hit the bell for the notifications. You know when we're going live with our call-in shows throughout the week, and also our team exclusive live streams on Ohio State, Florida State, Miami, and others. Dave Doeren flying under the radar. The North Carolina State football program flies under the radar. What does NC State typically do, and what have they done for years and 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 years? Regardless of who's been the coach, North Carolina State basically plays no one in the non-conference. No one. No, they play no one unless the ACC forces them to play Notre Dame. And then they, I don't even want to say, are mediocre in the ACC. Most of us think of North Carolina State as a pretty good football program. Oh, they go 8-4, go to a decent bowl game typically, 7-5, 8-4. That's at the top end. And those records are being lifted by horrible non-conference schedules. Horrible non-conference schedules. They're basically stealing wins from SES teams and a low group of 5 teams to make it to postseason play. That's what North Carolina State does, and Dave Doeren has now been the coach there for 7 seasons. And he's 21-35 in the ACC. 21-35. That's not mediocre, marginal. That's deplorable. He's losing over 60% of his games in the ACC. All right, Dave Doeren at NC State is 47-42, and again, 21-35 in the ACC. Let that sink in. 21-35. That's awful in what is right now the worst conference in college football. All right, he got the job from going 23-4 in 2 seasons at NIU and lifting them to an Orange Bowl and 2 MAC championships. I get it. Tom O'Brien had led a good North Carolina State program. He, in the previous 3 years before handing it over to Dave Doeren, O'Brien was 24-15, 17-15 in the ACC. He was 2 games over 500 in the ACC over those 3 seasons. Now Doeren is 14 games under. Granted, O'Brien did not leave him necessarily with a wealth of talent. According to the recruiting rankings, the 7th, 14th, and 9th rated classes in the ACC, numbers 35, 71, and 52 overall nationally. But this is what Doeren's done with this team. Again, 47-42, but that's been propped up by a lot of lousy wins. 21-35 in the ACC. Dave Doeren has played 17 top 25 games. His teams have played a ranked team 17 times. Guess how many they've won? 1 in 16 against ranked teams. Also, get this. I looked at North Carolina State's games against what you would consider to be the same level of play in their own division in the Atlantic. So you've got Boston College, Syracuse, Wake Forest, and Louisville. Same type programs, right? Again, BC, Syracuse, Wake Forest, and Louisville. North Carolina State against those teams, 13-14. 1 in 16 against ranked teams. They beat number 17 Louisville. What a great accomplishment that was. Let's see. This was way back in 2015. So 21-35 in the ACC means that Dave Doeren is 26-7 non-conference. Okay. That is propped up by going 7-0 against FCS teams and going 15-2 against the group of 5. And they're not exactly playing UCF and Boise State and Houston and other top-notch group of 5 teams. They have played East Carolina and the likes. We will show you the teams that they've played non-conference. 15-2 against group of 5 teams. Dave Doeren is 4-5 against the Power 5. They've only played 9 Power 5 games, and that includes bowl games. So they're generally not even scheduling a Power 5 team per season in 4 non-conference games. This is lousy. These are the non-conference games going back to 2013 for North Carolina State. They have played East Carolina 4 times. They did lose once to the Pirates. They've played Old Dominion 3 times. Notre Dame twice, Marshall twice, and then look at the rest of these juggernauts. Western Carolina, West Virginia, Ball State, James Madison, Georgia State, Furman, William and Mary, Troy, Eastern Kentucky, South Florida, Georgia Southern, South Florida, wow, somebody with a pulse, Presbyterian, Louisiana Tech, Richmond, and Central Michigan. Look at that list of teams that North Carolina State has played since 2013 out of conference. They have played Notre Dame twice because the ACC has forced them to play Notre Dame. Otherwise, the only credible games, West Virginia and South Carolina. 1 game against West Virginia, 1 game against South Carolina produces, again, a deplorable record for Dave Doeren, going 21-35 against the ACC and 1-16 against ranked teams. Okay. Recruiting is the lifeblood of a program. How has Dave Doeren done on the recruiting trail? Well, this is a catch-22 because if I show you that he's recruited good talent and not produced wins, then he's a bad football coach on the field and preparing the team for the games. If he's not recruited well, then he's not a good recruiter, and that's job point number 1. So his recruiting classes nationally since he started in 2013 have been numbers 59, 34, 31, 50, 53, 26, 32, and 41, generally in the mid to high 30s. And his ranks in the ACC in recruiting classes have been 9, 7, 6, 9, 10, 6, 6, and 6. Dave Doeren not getting the job done at NC State. His best team went 9-4 and had that one top 25 win over Louisville and went 6-2 in the ACC. Otherwise, it's been a recipe of going 3-5 generally in the ACC and then beating up on the likes of William and Mary and Old Dominion and East Carolina to get to a bowl game. That's what NC State wants. That's what they've got with Dave Doeren after 7 years. On a nightly basis, practically, I take calls calling for the heads of coaches who have been around for 2 years. And what are they going to do in year 3? I know this is not a top-level football program, but shouldn't it win more than it has? They're in North Carolina. They're surrounded by talent. Get the job done. If you have any thoughts on North Carolina State football, maybe there's some things I've missed, leave your opinions, your suggestions down in the comments section below. Right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football.